I would just say this is the most Lonely Island thing, Amy, that you showed up before my co-hosts.
Well, we did change the time on them, right?
Yeah. And let me just thank you for joining us from what is very clearly an airport parking lot.
That's right, Seth. I am in an airport parking lot. I'm in Houston, Texas, getting ready to fly to Dallas, Texas with Elizabeth Faye for our tour. And we're also joined by Fred Armisen, who is joining us too. And so we're all hitting the road. We're getting on a plane, but I take my podcast and my podcast. Oh, excuse me. That's the sound of a plane. Hold on.
It's weird that interrupted how seriously you take your podcast, but keep going.
I take my podcast very seriously, like you.
I had a real emotional pang in the best possible way because I also reached out to Fred this morning to ask him a question about something we're going to talk about. And he mentioned that he's with you guys for Restless Leg. And I do think it speaks to and Golden Era that the three of you are together and soon, whenever they choose to join, my fellow podcast
Well, honestly, you and I could just talk and then you could just like paste in them going, ha, ha, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll paste in Yorma saying like, wait, who? When?
Well, I did my homework and I looked up what was going on that last episode because it's a blur because it was the episode you're going to talk about today was my last. So the good thing about the internet is you can just type in an episode now and they'll show you every sketch and their opinion on it.
But there's one thing, Amy, that I was sort of very taken with. For whatever reason, the Hugh Laurie Bronx Beat is hard to find online.
Oh, I wonder why.
I don't know, because I watched it. It might be my favorite Bronx Beat ever.
Oh, it makes me want to watch it again.
It's very sweet because, of course, I'm watching it now knowing it's your last episode. I, of course, realized that means Maya came back to just be a friend and join you.
Yeah.
It's also kind of cool knowing now that at the SNL 50th, that was a sketch that sort of has endured and been a place there. Bronx Beat is so funny. Also, Shoemaker just spent 3 days on vacation with Jody Mancuso, who's the inspiration. And he said, oh, yeah, the best thing is Jody really does talk like that in real life.
I know. I've said this before. When Maya and I are doing Bronx Beat, we go back to the hair department and we just talk to Jody just to, and look, I'm not very good with accents. And I think my character there is kind of a combo of like my mom, who has a Boston accent, and Jody, who has a Bronx accent. But Jody is really good at getting us back on track.
There is maybe one of the biggest laughs in the history of Bronx Beat in this episode, which is Hugh Laurie is on and you guys are very enamored with his accent. You make him say schedule. He says schedule, and you just both lose your minds.
Let me tell you something. All right, you want to know something? That accent will get you everywhere.
That is so sexy.
So sexy.
Say some words.
What?
Say some words in your British accent.
Yeah. Yeah, say it in British. Say schedule.
Schedule.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
You are both so horny in this sketch. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But then you say, this is the biggest laugh. You go,
Everything sounds better with a British accent.
Yeah, you know what? I wish we had accents.
Me too.
and it is a rolling laugh that I love that this whole time you are not aware of the fact. Because I do think that Betty and Jody from Bronx Beat don't know anybody who doesn't talk like them.
That's right. Yeah, no, they don't think they have a very strong accent. And like most women, they're entranced by an English accent, We've all been there.
I've been there. I think I was there specifically with Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, God, he's so talented. And I mean, I'm sure you'll talk about it in the podcast. But I mean, he's such a seasoned sketch comedian that he was, it was like, I don't think American audiences know as much of how incredibly deep his sketch and comedy history is.
Yeah.
With Fry and
for people
Laurie.
who again, he was hosting for Dr. House and he has a really lovely sketch performer moment. He runs a butcher shop and you guys are just asking him what his favorite cut of meat is. And it's just you saying breast, you like the breast, inner thigh, outer thigh. And you say tongue and he breaks, but just a little bit, just a little British break.
Yeah.
And then he manages to play it off like it was his character laughing a little bit, but it's a really nice moment.
Just like what happens every time I listen to this podcast, it really makes me want to go back and watch the episode.
It's pretty awesome. But I want to ask, so you knew you were leaving. It's a Christmas show. And my memory is you knew you were leaving to do Parks.
Yep. I looked up the episode. Oh, sorry, stand by. I'm listening right now to make sure I don't miss my flight. I think everything got delayed. So, okay. Yes, I looked at the date of this episode and it was December 13th. So it must have been the last episode before Christmas break.
That's correct.
And I had my first child October 25th. So I was probably, feeling like I could leave the house, I guess. And I don't remember if I came back. I have
I think
no
you did
memory.
a couple of shows. I think you did the last run of sort of December shows, November, December shows after Thanksgiving. So you came back and did those. But I definitely remember you telling me I'm going to leave, and also I'm going to leave because I'm going to work with Sher on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I guess I went right after Christmas break to start on Parks and Rec. Yeah, in the beginning of that year.
It's sort of, Maya's in the episode, but my favorite cast photo, which is that sort of black and white one where we're all dressed like 40s, 50s movie stars.
Yeah,
the closest any of us will get to a 40s or 50s movie star.
Totally.
But that's sort of my picture. And Maya has left, but this is the second departure of a cast member from Ann Golden era.
Hi, Keith.
Oh, there he is.
Keith, I was saying to Seth that I'm with some SNL cast members right now, including one who was from Ann Golden era, which is Fred Armisen. In fact, hold on. Maybe Fred, do you want to make a cameo?
Sure.
Fred, I'm talking to Seth and Akiva right now.
Hi, guys.
Hi. This really works out, Fred, because the short we're up to this week is your short, the cookies one.
That's right. I sent Seth a voice message about it.
Wait, so Restless Leg, Amy.
Yeah.
I saw Restless Leg, and the special guest was Maya.
Yeah.
You've done it with Dratch.
Yeah.
And you're doing it with Fred. What bit does Fred do at Restless Leg? Is it different every night?
That's a good question. So, like I said, we're in Texas. So we're doing Houston and Dallas. And Fred, what do you do for your bit?
I do accents. So I do accents, like local accents, and I lead up to it from like around the country. And then if we're in Chicago, I'll do, Chicago or Dallas, just like the surrounding areas. And that's what I do.
He got so specific last night in the Houston area and was talking about like regions in the Houston area, including Sugarland, where we were, and the neighboring areas, River Oaks. And people were like, you are nailing it.
But Fred, are you really nailing it?
Yeah, how do you know?
It's like a general feeling you have about a place.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's parts of Boston or Chicago especially is easy, but Texas is kind of easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, everybody should watch Fred's special on Netflix, Stand Up for Drummers, where you do the entire, you have the whole 50 states in that, right, Fred?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Not all 50 states, but like, a lot of places, but yeah.
Do you go take a walk around when you get to the hotel?
Do I look around?
No, do you like walk around? When are you getting a sense of the place?
Oh, just from traveling in my life.
Oh, previously. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like a previous thing. And also like, you know what it's like. Like we all know people from all over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. I don't know if I could do Beaumont, Texas.
Nothing's more frustrating when somebody as talented as Fred saying like, but you know what it's like. You can do
Totally.
200 different regional dialects. Who among us?
You pick up a guitar and just play all the... So, Fred, did we get an announcement that we're delayed again?
Yep.
Oh, boy, guys.
Yeah.
Bad for you, good for the pod.
Good for the pod.
Yeah.
Amy, I just saw that you and Tina were going to play at the Montegan Sun or something like that in New Jersey. And I was like, oh, wow.
Hello, I'm Yorma. I just joined the podcast.
Hi.
You just want to introduce yourself. It's very strange when you
He's a member. He's a pretty...
Yeah, we're meeting at 12. Am I wrong? This is, I'm right on time.
Yeah, I know. I got on a little early because I was afraid I was going to have to board. But the good news is the planes are working with us today and they're late.
I was like, so we went to car?
Yeah, how long is the drive from...
3.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. We're having some mechanical problems with our flight.
Let's figure this out on the air, guys. Let's figure it out. Tell me where you are. I have Google open. I can go to Budget Rent-A-Car.
Well, it's very funny you say that because Fred and I were just talking about bus travel.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys can guess which one of us do you think would like bus travel and which one of us would not like bus travel?
I think you love bus travel, and Fred is such a diva. He can't stand it.
I bet Fred loves a bus.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
He does. He's a touring guy.
But I
Yeah,
don't
it takes him back to the road.
I don't know what Fred doesn't like.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing that I would be...
Yeah, complain about something.
I bet he doesn't like roller coasters.
I don't like roller coasters.
I don't either.
Yes.
There is a roller coaster that goes from Dallas to Houston.
Take it, Amy.
It takes 25 minutes.
So fast.
It's so fast, but it is
So
really
fast.
scary.
But it's so
It's
fast.
scary.
And I think most people lose their carry-ons, I've heard.
That's such a boy. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna get there fast.
I like picturing the sound, though, getting there. Wow, wow, wow.
Is that the trip you guys are doing, Dallas to Houston?
Other way, I think.
Oh, I like these glasses, Amy. You look cute.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it is 3 hours and 20 minutes. You guys could do it.
Yeah, we might have to drive. Our show is at 6:00 in Dallas, and it is right now.
Here?
Oh, our plane is here.
That's it right there.
Oh, our plane arrived.
Yay.
Woohoo! So it looks like we're gonna be in good shape. We're gonna be in good shape.
Support for The Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast comes from Airbnb. Recently I took a trip to Los Angeles, California, and I stayed at an Airbnb for 5 days. It was in the Valley. I'm not going to tell you where, because then you might track my movements. It was great. It was right across the street from a park. It was a really beautiful unit. And you know what it made me think? It made me think, man, I'm blowing it. I have a lovely place that I could be doing the same thing with. I would love to share it with the world. It's a great way for people to have lovely experiences in. And what am I doing? I'm just blowing it because it feels like it's more of a vacation in an Airbnb. It's not a hotel. You don't have to feel like you're just visiting a city. You're living in a city. And anyway, I felt like I was really throwing money in the garbage, and I was a fool. Your home could be worth more than you think. And you can find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
Hey, did you guys know support also comes from Coop?
I did.
There's a lot of different kinds of sleepers. Keith, tell me some of the kinds of sleepers off the top of your head.
Well, there's side sleepers. That's people who sleep on their side.
Uh-huh.
Back sleepers, if you sleep on your back.
Yeah.
There's even starfishes, which I assume are tummy sleepers.
Or maybe just like everything.
Yeah, you're just
Every limb is different every which way.
The thing that's cool about starfish sleepers is if you, during the night, get a limb cut off, it grows back.
Oh, yeah.
That is cool.
That is so cool. What are you, Seth? Give us your dirt.
I'm a side sleeper.
Oh, wow. You heard it here.
Yeah, I'm a side.
Do you ever roll onto your back and start snoring? Or are you like just a pure side?
I will find my way onto my back, but that's why it's very nice for me to have the original adjustable pillow crescent because it's great for side or back. So wherever I end up, I'm very happy to be with my adjustable pillow crescent.
I'm the same as you, Seth. I'm a side sleeper, but I wake up and I'm on my back sometimes.
And the Cool Plus adjustable has advanced cooling for side and back sleepers and proprietary cooling gel memory foam and microfiber blend.
That's you, Yorm, right? You're a little sweaty sleeper, a little sweaty hog in the sheets.
Little sweat hog.
You know it.
Yeah. So that cooling gel, have you tried it yet? Or you're looking forward to it?
Looking forward.
With Coop U, you can build your perfect alignment by adding or removing fill. Take it in, put it out, make it just fit for you guys. I think I figured out the hack to getting a good night's sleep, and it starts with my adjustable pillows from Coop Sleep Goods. I really cannot recommend the Crescent enough. You spend a third of your life in bed, or in the case of Andy, 2/3. Shouldn't you get a pillow that's customized to your sleep? I upgraded my pillows with Coop.
Visit coopsleepgoods.com/island to get 20% off your first order. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/island.
Another thing that happened your last week, Poehler, is it was also Shoemaker's last week.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we did a surprise party for Shoemaker on the 17th floor. And do you remember how you almost blew the surprise?
Yep. I do. I sent a text. Guys, okay, before I quickly tell this story, I just want to say I don't love surprise parties. They're not for me. So I probably accidentally but subconsciously was stressed about it. And I texted Shoemaker some version of like, do you think the name of this fake restaurant will fool Shoemaker? Something like that.
You did it directly to him?
I did.
By accident.
I did.
You do have a history of accidentally texting the person you mean to be talking about.
Yeah, no, I have done that actually quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have done that. And then I usually like scream and throw my phone across the room because I'm like, oh my God.
There were a couple of things. I asked Shoemaker about it today. He said there were a couple. Because, by the way, the surprise party worked. And he said he was just maybe so emotionally overburdened that he could not pick up every missed clue. Because Higgins and I told him we were going to take him out to dinner. We went all the way downstairs. And then I said, oh my God, I forgot my wallet. Do you guys mind going back up? And then Shoemaker, who just can't let anything go, I remember him yelling at me like, what do you mean? You don't have your wallet? Then how do you have your ID? You're not going to be able to go back upstairs. And I was like, I keep my ID in a different pocket. He's like, since when do you keep your ID? Like just grilling me. My like last memory before surprise was being like, this fucking guy can't let anything go.
I'm shocked they went back up with you and that he wasn't like, I'll just wait down here.
Well, we had Higgins.
Aren't those the reasons you like him, though? Like, he's a details guy.
Yeah, I do.
I think he just like per usual took care of all of us.
Yes.
And maybe just decided to not know what was going on.
It is very funny when you lose your details guy. He must be so happy to see how shitty a surprise goes without him on the inside.
Yeah, we all really failed, and I really failed. I mean, I texted him. But yes, that was my last episode, and I was telling Yorma and Kiva, I was telling Seth, I looked over the episode, and you know, Yormi, I'm in your category. I mean, I don't remember anything.
There was so much trauma and nerves and adrenaline. Like, I think that's the reason. Not because I'm old.
No, it's not because we're old. That's crazy. No. Yeah.
Could be.
It's all cool stuff.
Not possible.
Yeah. But I looked and I was like, wow, Kanye was the musical guest. And then I had an image of the great Ken Among used to do a very nice gesture for cast where he would give you the ticket from your first show and the ticket from your last show and frame it. So I have a framed picture from my first and last show and the tickets that were handed out. So now I can remember the ticket that said Hugh Laurie and Kanye West and the picture of us on stage at the end.
That is so sweet.
So then, since we share our first show, Amy, I wonder if you remember the first ticket.
Yes, it was Reese Witherspoon and Alicia Keys.
Wow,
not too shabby.
Look at that.
It's not too shabby.
2 weeks after September 11th.
Yes,
oh, wow.
That it was.
That was shabby. That part was
That
shabby.
was shabby.
But the other part, not
That was
too
shabby. That was shabby.
Historically shabby. Wait, there was something else. Oh, your last update, which is a move I stole years later when I had my last update, which is you addressed a very emotional goodbye to camera, but it did not go very long before it was interrupted by Fred as then New York Governor David Paterson, who had sort of wandered, was unaware that he had wandered into the shot, but he was very close to the camera in the foreground. And again, it was just the patience of Fred in a bit. He was so not in a hurry. And you just had to lean into the tiniest corner of the frame to say goodbye to SNL.
That's quality. That's quality.
That to me, I think might be my favorite feeling in the world.
On the way out the door, still doing comedy.
Yep. And also the switcheroo from real feeling to hard laugh might be, I don't know, like if I could bottle that feeling. Because when I was saying goodbye, I was very emotional and I was like, wow, I can't believe this is it. And then to have a joke come in and like change that feeling to joy, I don't know. It's pretty special.
You know what else is special about it? It didn't undercut the emotion. It was just parallel. It ran parallel to it.
Maybe even heightened it, honestly. I mean, even you describing that, Amy, like just all the hairs on the back of my neck. I'm like, that's so wonderful. Like just remember.
I went back and watched because Fred is also on the phone when it first starts and he's talking very quietly. David Paterson is aware he's in the studio, but he isn't aware he's in the shot.
Being able to do over 140 shows with my friends and my family has been a dream come true. And from the bottom of my heart, I really...
It's right up. Get about $50 worth of circus tickets. Governor.
He buys tickets. He buys circus tickets by weight. What do you get for $50?
It's really good.
Wow.
Well, it was really special, and thank you for joining us to talk about your final show.
I've told this to Seth personally, but I also want to say to you guys, I love your podcast. I listen to it every week. Quaid Army, forever.
That's really become a thing.
Righteous Kill.
Love it. Yes.
My new tattoo.
Good.
This member of the Quaid Army is always looking for a righteous kill, and I always find it on this podcast, which I absolutely love. So anytime you need me in any way, I'm honored to be here. And I love that I haven't seen Andy yet.
Oh, he's not coming today.
Oh, great.
He wasn't kidding. He ate fuck.
Also, just for our listeners and for you, you can just skip to the end when you listen to this, Amy. I am going to play the Bronx Beat line about sweetbreads will be the last thing anybody hears in this episode.
Okay, fantastic.
It's one of my favorites.
I can't wait.
Amy, before you go, do you want to promote your new one? Because I've been listening to it and it's great.
Thank you, Akiva. I appreciate it. It's called Good Hang on Spotify. And fun guests are coming up, including Seth Meyers, who I just interviewed recently.
And that was an emotional roller coaster. My goodness.
It was incredible. It was like a roller coaster from Houston to Dallas is what it was.
Wow. That's my favorite kind.
Yep. I'm so pleased that the timing worked out. This plane really worked with us.
It really did. And again, I think when somebody's willing to jump on a podcast from an airport, it's a level of affection that we're lucky to have in our lives.
Well, you have all done so much for me and continue to. And anything I can do, I love you guys.
That's great. And so Tina's just, in line to get one of those pretzels?
Yeah, Tina would rather not get on right now. She told me she'd rather you guys go through her team. You know what I mean? Like, she'd rather go through the reps.
Great. She's a more Mohegan Sun type of person.
Yeah. She's just giving me a signal, right? Like she's shaking her head no right now.
Let's go.
Every time I look at her.
Get on the plane.
Yeah. So if you maybe want to call her publicist or something and make like a formal offer, we could get her on, but I don't feel like...
They said that the publicist would be happy to be a guest.
Yeah. Yes. Kara is a wonderful talker and a great person, and she'd love to talk on her behalf. But you should know that Tina was long gone by this episode, so she doesn't have much to say.
All right, we love you, Poehler. Safe travels.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you for getting on here.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Fred, wherever you are.
It's the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast.
What's up, dudes?
How fucking late was I?
Not that bad.
Poehler
Not
times?
that bad.
God damn.
It was just, they texted this morning being like, Poehler can get on earlier because she's at an airport.
I was at the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens with my daughter and son.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, mother-in-law.
Yeah.
We would not have wanted you to cut that short. I'm saying that genuinely.
Yes, I know.
So no Andy today.
Wait, I just have a question about spelling bee now, since it feels like needs to mention.
Oh my God. But I do want to jump in, Yorm.
Yeah.
I have some comments from people.
About spelling bee?
Well, someone said, stop talking about
spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Well, nobody wants to hear about this boring shit.
Okay, that's fair.
But go ahead. I just felt like the fact that Andy wasn't here might be a real break for people. But if you have a question.
My question is, I know he's not on the podcast, but is he texting you updates about his spelling bee right now?
Not yet. Okay. Not yet. But if one comes in during this.
It's too early over here.
I'll definitely let you know. Oh, hey, can I give a little shout out to us?
Yeah.
And you know what? Shout out to Quaid Army, really. We won the People's Choice Webby.
Hey, we won the Webby! People's Choice. Thank you, Quaid Army.
You guys had a code word for me in the last episode to check.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what it is, slacker?
I do, but somebody wrote a really funny thing in the comments, which was, I feel like you should ask Yorma first if he remembers.
Fuck, I'm getting burned so hard. Fucking first vests, and now it's just unreal. It's, oh no. Oh no. Oh, what's the blue?
Let me know when you need a hint.
No, wait a minute.
This is, I mean, what a great outcome. Thank you for your comment.
No, hold on, because I want to say petty four, but
you want to say that,
is
that's
like
wrong.
That's like a treat. Oh,
do you remember what kind of a thing it was?
No, it's a color.
Okay,
what's the name of it? Petite blue. What do we call it? Oh no! I've just got put on the spot.
I feel like this is a scene. This is like a scene in Austin Powers where
Periwinkle. We're the Periwinkle players.
There you go.
Yeah,
God
good work.
Damn it!
The Periwinkle players.
I'm so bummed that we're going to use all that.
I appreciate how many people picked up on that.
Should have fucking tatted it on my forehead.
And a lot of people responded to what color is periwinkle in the comments.
Yeah.
We were both kind of right, I guess, because people said it was a blue tinted like lavender.
Is it more lavender? I thought it was just like a baby bluish color, but yeah, you were more right.
No, I look it up. It looks pretty lavender.
Can I just say something about colors? Because me and Akiva did a lot of graffiti when we were kids, and so a lot of my references for colors are all Krylon spray paint colors.
Oh yeah, spray paint cans. Yeah, same. Like true blue and
baby blue.
Somebody did mention the vest, Yorm. I hate to roll from one burn into the other.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, we can reveal the price of the vest, too.
Somebody said, I think I know the price of the vest. It was Yorma's dignity.
Yeah.
Quaid Army coming through with some good ones.
The funniest comment about Quaid Army is someone said, wait, when did we start getting called the Quaid Army? What did I miss? And I want to say like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Seems like you might. By the way, you're not Quaid Army. If you don't know why.
Yeah. If you have to ask, when did we, maybe it's not a we, when did you guys start calling yourself Quaid Army?
No, it's a vibe.
Right.
Hey, wait. Okay, so what are your guys' guesses on the vest?
Somebody asked, they wanted to know which store it was from because they feel like if it was a label.
Yeah, you can baby step there.
It's hard because I don't want to ever do an ad just for free.
Right.
Sure. So yeah, don't say the label. I think it was over $400.
No, God, no. Oh, I would never.
Oh, all right.
My guess, because it was embarrassing, but I don't think you would buy that vest if it was this is crazy, but I was going in the 200s somewhere.
That's very close. It was $180. It is a Nike vest, but it's through a company called End Clothing. And they basically have a bunch of different designers.
But you love it.
Well, now I feel weird wearing it though, Keeve. Because I feel like if I walk around Brooklyn now, it's like somebody because I've been noticed at the gym before and people are like, hey, I love the pod.
You think it's your Lazy Sunday Supreme coat that you can't wear anymore because it's gone so viral like Lazy Sunday?
That was a Supreme coat, right? That Andy had?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just ruined the coat.
And he never could wear it again because it looked like he was in costume.
I don't know if this podcast is quite Lazy Sunday big, but it would.
Oh, no, I'm still going to wear it. I'm still going to wear it on fucking purpose.
I think you can still wear the vest is what I was getting at.
I think you should wear it proudly. I think if someone spotted you out in the wild, Yorm, who listens to this podcast, if you were wearing the vest, it'd be like they spotted two of us. They'd be double excited.
They'd be like, well, hey, look at that bag of trash. Oh, no, it's Yorm.
I saw Yorm, but I also saw the vest in real life. I think seeing the vest might even be more exciting than seeing you. So I wouldn't be afraid of it. If they know enough to know about the vest, they're going to be so excited to see it.
I'll wear it. I'll wear it the rest of today, and I'll let you know if I get peeped.
Yeah, go around, though. Peacock around town for sure.
I was in Austin, Texas for my bar mitzvah, and someone came up to me at a breakfast taco place and very politely just sort of leaned in. I was sitting with the kids and just leaned in and said, Quaid Army.
Oh, shit. That's good. It's like Fight Club now.
Yeah, I like that it's not something you sort of yell across a crowded party.
You just say that. You don't need to back it up with when my dad was, when I was younger, my dad would show me all your shirts. You don't need all the information of what it is. We watch a closer look every night. You just go, Quaid Army.
Quaid Army.
Hey, Quaid Army.
I have a random thing that we never talked about, but you're in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The film.
Yeah. Did you see it recently?
Actually, no. I saw it when it came out. I don't know why I decided to bring it up now. When I was walking up to my podcast mic earlier, I was like, what are other things we've never talked about?
Do you know why? I directed an episode of The Knuckles Show, and Brandon, who has shot for us, he shot 3 movies for my wife. He shot Popstar. He shot MacGruber. We've known forever. He just shot the Naked Gun movie coming out August something.
Very exciting.
Right?
First.
Mm-hmm. August 1st. He's a great guy, but he directed an episode of The Knuckles Show. He was also the DP for Sonic 3. So he did all of The Knuckles Show and then went straight into Sonic 3. And I just wanted to see those guys again. So when I was reading the draft, giving some pitch ideas on jokes, I was like, who's this IT guy? How can I get back to England? You guys make me the IT guy. And
you pitched yourself as the actor, and they're like, sure.
I pitched myself so I could get a free trip back to England and see those guys, and it was worth it.
Well, it was great. It was a delight to see you in there, Yorm. Go ahead, Seth.
I had some concerns about missing an episode.
Oh, well, Seth, I'm very, very curious about this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you missed last episode. This was the first time we didn't have you. Mm-hmm. What'd you think?
So I loved it.
You did?
Thought it was super funny.
I thought you were going to be disappointed.
No, it was great. I was almost disappointed how little you guys needed me. Keeve, you were kind of the star of it. Congrats.
Oh, thank you so much.
He kept it Sethly.
I think you did the best job putting your hand on the wheel. With that said, there were some comments that made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Someone wrote, now it can be answered. Why is Seth involved in this podcast that is mostly about the Lonely Island? Cut to image of kindergarten class where students are eating paste, running with scissors, and dipping the class tortoise in finger paint.
I feel like we led them there with all our comments about how we were off the rails. We weren't really off the rails, but okay.
Yorm kept saying, this car is off the tracks. Multiple people said cars don't go on tracks.
Did I say tracks?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Somebody wrote, finally, with Seth gone, we can talk about Baja Fresh menu prices.
I'll stand by that.
In rap form. Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it a great deal. And now Andy has a week off for some stuff.
Well, it was fun to do without you knowing the whole time, just thinking about you judging it. And
again, I was only enjoying it. I was free of judgment.
Okay. Well, we missed you.
Is this the earliest in the morning we've ever done? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
It's got more of a coffee, but like a pre-coffee. I haven't even had mine. You know
You
what I
haven't
mean?
even had your job.
I've had so much
No.
stuff. You guys, so much fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's later for you guys. That makes sense.
Wait, we are going to talk about some shorts though, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Hugh Laurie short, which is called Cookies. And the very simple premise here is Hugh Laurie is running a meeting. It is in one of those very poorly lit offices that we shot a lot of the early, or you shot a lot of the early shorts in.
Yep.
And the entire gist is that over the course of the meeting, Fred just keeps sort of reaching into the center of the table to eat cookies.
It's a very simple premise.
I was very happy I remember to shoot it. And I remember feeling, of course, the relief of somebody else being like, I have an idea. And I was going like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can just do somebody else's idea.
Support comes from Rula. We were talking about therapy today, Yorm.
Yeah.
You had to go to therapy because Fred had such an accurate impression of you.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of my issues.
I think almost everybody who went through SNL both loved it and found their way to a therapist.
Yeah.
I greatly benefited from my time at the therapist, and Rula is now offering you those benefits as well. Rula isn't just affordable. They stick with you throughout your journey, making sure you get the best therapy and that you're making progress. With Rula, every provider is carefully vetted and chosen for their expertise. You'll always know you're in the hands of quality providers who are dedicated to making real progress in your care. How many therapists at any given time in New York City are listening to someone go, and then like Lauren is like so hard to talk to?
I'd say it's a pretty high percentage.
That's true. SNL 50 Anxiety Short was a very good advertisement for therapy in general. So go to rula.com/island to get started today. That's rula.com/island for convenient therapy that's covered by insurance. With Rula, you can find the right therapist for you. Rula partners with a network of over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements in-network. Covered care for most major insurance. Pay as little as $15 per session. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/island to get started today. After you sign up, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/island and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares.
Support comes from Mint Mobile. Summer is just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. Yorm, anything to say about that?
Well,
I know you've been going for that Jeremy Allen White, Calvin Klein savings bod.
Oh, someone listened to last episode's ads. Terrific.
And I've been loving seeing the progress. Anyways, this spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans, just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank.
I want to talk about something, Keith. I want to talk about the quality of Mint Mobile because I got a Mint Mobile SIM card, popped that baby in, and that thing was fantastic. The quality was great, and who can beat the price? No one. I mean, way better than a summer bod, I gotta say.
So when you tested out the product, you put in the little chip.
Yes.
You switched over, you got your 5 bars or whatever it would call.
Yep.
And then did you say bye-bye, David Spade style, to overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages?
I kept saying that until people were like, please stop. And I was like, summer bods are out. Low prices are in.
Would you say this is a true or false statement? Mint Mobile rescued you.
Oh, Keith, yes. Rescued me from overpriced phone bills. Thank you, Mint Mobile.
Now I'm just going to say some stuff. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/island. That's mintmobile.com/island.
Hi, guys. It's Seth. I'm sorry I'm late. I wasn't using Mint Mobile.
Do you want to read the disclaimer?
Seth, kill this disclaimer real quick.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available, taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Oh, that was good.
Impressive.
Fred did send in a voice note.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear that.
Hey there. Hi from Houston. What do I remember from that cookies sketch or video? I think that we did it first as a regular sketch, like at the table. And it's just, that feeling, or I get this feeling, whenever there's like a meeting or a conference and there are snacks in the middle, I'm like, oh, that's all I want to do is just snack the whole time, but just make it look casual. What's funny is it seems like you're kind of alone in that. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone's digging in. So you're trying to like not make a big deal about it. But the other thing I remember is that this is a bit I used to do with this friend of mine a long time ago, this guy, Tom Sweets, where, oh my God, his name was Sweets. Anyway, where we would talk about desserts. I don't even know how to explain this bit, but we would just be like, oh, take me to confession. I don't know if I said that line in the sketch, but I just remember thinking that was like a funny sentiment, like, take me to confession. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, when we shot it, they were like, do you want a spit bucket? Which those are so gross, so I never use them. But also, I was like, I would love to eat all these cookies for this. That's the whole point. So anyway, that's what I remember.
Okay, thanks, Fred.
I feel like Fred is so good at taking a tiny thing about a person, usually something that you find mildly annoying or something, and then blowing it up into this macro, like just like, holy shit, if this was the one thing about this person's personality. And it's very funny to me to be like, oh, this was part of his personality. I feel like it's always like taking something about someone else.
He absorbed it. Sorry, he observed it in himself.
He wants cookies.
It is interesting that it is just combining two really good observations that we've all experienced. That moment where the food is in the middle of the table and you're starving, but everyone else is staying professional and no one else is eating it.
Yeah, why would you do that? Like, that's like the worst time to provide food.
And it's like loud. It's like a chip and guacamole or something. You're like, oh, I'm not going to reach over and like dip it. And everyone else is just sitting there and you're like, God, but I wish everybody was eating right now. It's
like a test to see who's unprofessional. And especially the meeting in the short, they're talking about very serious things, right? People are going to be fired. People are going to be laid off. Like it's very, but it is truly like, hey, anybody who eats this is a failure immediately.
It is.
Wait, can I say one thing about Fred in terms of the, I keep saying, can I say? I noticed that.
I know, we all have our tics. It's totally fine. I forgive you.
It's a bummer. So Fred used to do impressions of people, speaking of like finding the thing about you and then blowing it up to a macro kind of view of like, this is your entire personality. Fred would do impressions of people at SNL, and I remember they weren't so much like how people sounded always. It was who you were as a person, which is a much more damning impression. And I remember he once did an impression of me that I will forever remember, and I've talked about in therapy before, that was, I'm Yorma, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'm Yorma, I'll do it. I was like, that's so horribly accurate.
It took me even like a minute to get it. I was like, that's Yorma? And I'm like, is that
Oh, yeah, no, that's his soul.
Oh,
it is so funny. I can see you lying on a couch. Although I don't think anybody does that in therapy anymore, but I can see you lying on a couch and being like, and everybody's just like, I'm Yorma, I'll do it, I'll do it. I'm like, is that who I am?
And then Fred came in and ripped my soul apart on accident.
My middle of the table observation is that, SNL, the table read on Wednesdays, there would just be, the middle of the table, sort of a lot of snacks, including sort of little sandwiches
yes.
that were very middle of the road. Not awful, not great. Just exactly what you think a small ham and cheese sandwich would be. And the amount that I would just stress eat them.
Really?
Just during a table read, I would just reach over and eat. And that thing of, it's, between lunch and dinner, what they say you should have is like 3 tiny sandwiches. Mm-hmm. It's not a meal. It's like between meals. And I went back, there was one table read for the SNL 50th. And I sat down and it was so fun and it was everybody I wanted to see. And like halfway through a sketch, I was like, oh God, I'm going to eat a sandwich. Just like,
we're back, baby.
Yeah. I've got a hole inside me that's going to be filled with sandwiches.
Can we talk about how the table read works just in terms of like the stress you have of having a written, just because maybe this is interesting, is that you've written all night sometimes. Sometimes you haven't even gone to bed if you're writing with Will Vuori. And then it will routinely be said that it's around 3-ish o'clock, and then it just can go and get pushed and pushed.
4:45, I would say, is fine. They say it's 3, and then it's like 4:45.
Yeah, but I did not know that you would eat those sandwiches. I didn't think anyone ate those.
Well, you were sitting farther away. The writers sort of sit in the back. Anyone in the cast is around the table, which I technically still was.
Nice.
All right, I'm looking through some comments. People are really right there with it. These are from, years ago, not the Quaid Army comments that are recent on the cookies. I hate when there's food and people just ignore it, so I feel like I have to ignore it too. See, he really did just tap into something very human.
Yeah.
And then this other one is, I'm bad, in quotes, like, oh, I'm bad. We all know a perfectly normal, ordinary person who says that every time they do something nobody cares about.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So he did tap into those two.
I mean, that, Fred, those little observations about people like, oh my God, I'm bad.
Yes, I guess that part is someone else because I can't imagine.
I liked seeing so much of the cast in this too. In my mind, the other people in it maybe were just background or something like extras, and then rewatching it because I hadn't seen it since we made it. It was fun seeing Sudeikis and Abby Elliott and Keenan comes in, like Bobby, etc.
I watched it for this a couple days ago, and I can't remember how it ended. How does it end?
All toffee nibs in those.
Afternoon. Are you eating those cookies?
Yes, is there a problem?
Well, they're prototypes from the Dolcalex Corporation. They're not cookies at all. They're stool softeners.
How long do you think one of these took to shoot, Keith?
There's a lot of angles, like doing a dinner table scene, so it takes slightly longer than you want it to get people's reactions. But honestly, 3 hours?
Yeah, I think we probably had 2 cameras on it. I mean, it's very business-y. Is this the same room as business-y?
Oh, excellent question. It's definitely just in 30 Rock, as Seth pointed out. There's a couple comments that pointed out, like this one says, this is proto, I think you should leave. And there were a few people saying that. And I actually had that thought in my head too. When I'm hearing the live audience kind of not doing much with it, not that I think it's like the most hilarious one ever or anything that deserves more, but I'm like, oh, this is such a small observation. There doesn't need to be an audience. And it's about one person in a business setting who is going down a path because they're hungry. And, there's that one with Tim where he's got the hot dog because they say that they're going to work through lunch. And it's not, they're not the same sketch. I'm in no way like comparing in a damning way. But I am like, oh, right. If this was just shot and wasn't asking an audience for laughter and was just a piece of a thing, I think it would feel better than it does when you feel the audience not knowing.
Tim, Zach, and Solomon, I feel like, take things to a whole other level because having a hot dog up your sleeve.
This would go somewhere else with them, but I do feel like it was similar.
Andy and I were talking about how I Think You Should Leave does that thing where the beats are never A, B, C. They're A, J, Z, Z. But you also know they all make sense. If you can picture what the beats in between would be, they all would be there.
Yes.
I think Hugh Laurie might be in Golden Episode, despite the fact that even at the time, I think Lauren certainly knew how Cookies was not going to be Criterion. It was the last sketch of the night.
Yeah.
It was the very last sketch?
Well, it's weird. There's no sketch after the second music guest. It says then it just goes right to goodnights, which is rare. Usually they would flip-flop that. I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Have we ever had that happen?
It's a weirdly long show. A couple of sketches were cut on air. Christmas album, which I'm assuming is Clancy T. Baccalaureate. Also, budget Christmas decorations, which would be Googie Renee. So a couple of like really good recurring characters didn't make it onto the show late. Cut after dress. I'm only going to say it so that Kevin can pull a short clip from The Australians. That was the sketch where Wig and Fred and Bill were Australians packing for a trip.
Great holiday. All right. Got all our tape?
Yes, got it. Check. Scotch. Yes.
All right. Got X-Acto knife and scissors.
Knife, yes.
Absolutely need it. Got to do it. Got to do that. No worries.
I brought the ribbon.
Makes everything look nicer.
Why not?
Yeah, like this.
Real
Like
nice.
this. All right. Well, Greg's here.
Greg's arrived.
Hopefully there were no laughs in that clip because there never were. But there was a couple of very important firsts in the Hugh Laurie episode. We discussed with Poehler, one of my favorite Bronx Beats of all time, the great Bronx Beat with Hugh Laurie.
What'd you like about it so much?
I just kind of forgot that the fun thrust of the game of Bronx Beat is they're just over it, but also super horny for their male guests. And in this case, Hugh Laurie is a British guy who owns a butcher shop. They say it's really fancy because it's spelled PPE, the shop. That's an observation they make early on. And he says one of their specials coming up is they're going to be selling Christmas goose.
Right. Well, this month we're featuring fowl. So if you're interested in a traditional Christmas goose...
Christmas goose?
Goose? Yeah. I'd like to give you a Christmas goose. But you know what? I'll give it to you every day of the year, 365 days of the year. Every day's Christmas with me.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Wedding Toast, the first appearance of Will Forte's character, Hamilton Whiteman.
Ooh, yeah, that's groundbreaking.
Yeah, who became his own thing.
Yeah, also made an appearance at your wedding.
Yeah, so wedding toast, which Fred's name is actually first, which is interesting to me.
These might be wrong, though, because if you look over
Yes.
at cookies, it says Sandberg, Schaffer, Tacconi, and it was
Right.
Fred
Could be
wrote
wrong.
that.
Wedding toast is a perfect cast sketch idea. Really nice point guarding in this sketch by Sudeikis, who is the guy who's trying to get the wedding toast to wrap up so everybody can go dance. And everybody has one simple game, and they come out and crush it, starting with Hugh Laurie, who, as the host, has 3 appearances. He's a guy named Bob Kemp, has a perfectly flat American accent. All he's trying to do is remember how long he's known the bride's father.
I have been friends with Tina's dad for, how long has it been? Gus? How long has it been? Nikki? How long has it been? How long has it been? Steven? How long has it been? Kevin, how long has it been? How long has it been? I'll be back.
Then Fred comes out. One of my favorite Fred looks of all time. Long black hair, sideburns, a black tuxedo, but with shorts. And he's the ex-boyfriend of the bride. And his first line is, "So, Tina, look, we ended bad," which is great. Wig comes out with an oxygen tank on rollers, breathing very heavy. She says she is the boss of the groom. I was not invited, and I do not have a ride home. We were talking about how Bobby Moynihan's early time in the show was just coming out and murdering with one moment. He just comes out, takes the microphone, says what into the microphone, then drops it. And then Forte comes out as Hamilton Whiteman, and the audience doesn't know what to do with this. He is outwardly racist.
I did not realize that he wasn't the whole sketch. And as soon, every memory came back as you said it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they buried him under a real sketch.
Yeah.
And then let him just shine at the end as the sexist,
They knew
racist.
there was a tonnage issue.
It's so interesting when you do a character that just is sexist and racist. The audience is waiting for like the but.
No, there's nothing. And
Yeah,
he makes it very clear in the course of his toast that he thinks the country's made a terrible error electing Barack Obama. That's one of the first things he says. He also starts by saying, "I'm a friend of a cousin," which is we've talked about how Forte obsesses over small language. And then every now and then you see an example where you realize, oh, yeah, it was worth the extra time.
It may have taken 20 minutes to write that line.
Yeah. Someone in the audience, I don't know if it's a gasp or a hiss, because there's no laughter to cover it.
And I think a great mistake has been made with this Obama. But love endures, love heals. Love will help temper the effects of putting a black man in office. But love abides, love abides.
It's mind-boggling. Hey, what's up, dudes?
Hey, Seth.
I would like to talk about Vuori because our support comes from Vuori, but I'd also like to say that, I do believe that our ad reads are also content.
I think they can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe try to make this so good that it's non-skippable.
Yeah. At its pinnacle, I feel like people think, wow, I feel like I'm not even talking about a product.
For sure.
Just sort of naturally, the way I would talk to you guys as buds, I would tell you that Vuori is incredibly versatile, comfortable, perfect for whatever your day brings. It's designed to look great beyond the gym. I mean, you guys can't see Yorma right now, but he's on a treadmill.
Yeah. I'm good. And I'm wearing Vuori, guys.
And the thing that's great is now Yorm's going to get right off that treadmill and he can head to the office. He can go run errands. He can meet up with friends because it looks great beyond the gym. It's great for any workout or activity. And you should try the core short, Yorm. It pairs well with a vest.
Thanks.
I'd love to see that look.
It's also fitness versatility. One short, every sport. Ideal for fitness, running, and training. Soft, lightweight, 4-way performance stretch. Moves with you, no restriction. You can't restrict Norm even if you tried, but the core short's working with him.
If I went 5 ways, then maybe. But no, I just go 4. So it works for me.
You're just a 4-way guy.
Yep.
I've had multiple people in my life ask me if I get Vuori discounts even more than this, because it's genuinely something that they already purchase and own and want more of. And that is a genuine endorsement.
Here's the thing, Keith. You got people. You have a podcast. You're already, because listeners of the podcast can get 20% off. You've got people that are calling you being like, hey, Keith, you got the hookup? Can you give me an extra 10%?
Well, here's the trick. I'll read this and then I'll tell you why it's the trick. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. These are not first-time people. That's why it actually is such a good endorsement, is that they actually already own some of this clothing.
Right.
Love it.
20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/island. That's VUORI.com/island. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/island and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. And it sounds like what you're saying, Keith, is buy a lot that first time, because it seems like the second time buyers are the ones who are up in arms.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Fred and speaking of the party we talked about with Poehler, Shoemaker's last party, which was he came up to the 17th floor and we'd set up a bar and everybody was there and people gave speeches. And a couple of speeches I remember, Forte and Sudeikis did as John Bovey came out and gave a speech. And they did not call him Shoemaker. They called him Lace Destroyer. America, Sawyer, John Mulaney, and Simon Rich had just started on the show. And so their toast was about how they only knew him as the guy who made them write promos when, the guests and people stay on the stage and like, hey, I'm hosting SNL this week. Yeah. And so their farewell to him is they each read a promo they had written.
His favorite thing.
And then Fred did two things. One, at the time, because again, this was post the 2008 election, ratings for SNL were really high. And Fred was like, I'm going to like to read you some numbers. Last week, SNL did a 5.2. When Mike Shoemaker started, the show did a 4.1. This is all he ever cared about. And it was just a lot of him doing Nielsen numbers. And then he said that one thing he has in common with Shoemaker is they're both fans of a couple of mates from Liverpool. And then he sat at the piano, and Fred does this really great bit where he plays Blackbird in the wrong chords. Wrong key, I guess. And it was just it's so unsettling to the ears to hear.
Oh, can we please try to find that and play a little bit?
We'll get Fred to play us his version of Blackbird. It was also the first appearance, this show, which was Amy's last update, as we discussed with her. It was also the first appearance of Fred as Governor David Patterson, which is one of the funniest things that has ever been on SNL. It did end with the actual governor showing up and doing the sketch with Fred, which I think speaks to the fact that it was all in good fun. But it is very interesting to me even now that it got away with it. And one of the reasons it gets away with it is Fred is just so charming as Governor David Patterson, who was and is legally blind.
But he brings a lot of swag to it. And the fact that he's dumping on New Jersey so much, I feel like also helps it somehow.
He dumps on New Jersey. He dumps on upstate New York. He delivers line like a Borscht Belt comic. He also does a thing where when he delivers a punchline, he opens both of his eyes and looks directly at camera. There's like 1,000 great moves. Mulaney, Klein, Jost, I want to say, wrote it.
Whenever I'm going to New Jersey, I have that in my head. New Jersey!
I will tell you that having talked to Governor David Patterson, he always thought it was very funny. There is a really great line where I think Amy. No, it was me. I say, what do you have against New Jersey? And he says, unfortunately, a southern border. Just really like one of those lines that like would have worked in like 1915.
Yeah, that's classic.
I remember the first time we did it, it had been in one of those like free New York magazines that, there was actually like just a newsstand where you could open. And the front page was a full picture of Fred with the headline "Too Far." And I think I took like 50 of them. Straight to the office.
Oh, too far.
Too far.
Too far, question mark.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there was a little like, was it?
Oh, yeah. So they were charmed.
And we did it a lot more. And as we discussed with Poehler earlier, it was a very special way to end her final show.
So sweet.
I'm a little bummed, and we'll obviously have to get a pickup from him to talk about it. A sketch that I think about a lot is Lamps. Do you remember Lamps?
It's on the tip of me remembering.
Oh, no.
It starts with Fred and Michaela Watkins. They own a lamp shop, and they walk out. And as soon as they walk out, Wig and Hugh Laurie and Sandberg in really dumb lamp costumes dance out and start singing a song about how they're lamps. Like sort of like a Disney musical. And then they're like, oh, they're coming back. And they go and they like hide. And they come back in and they say, oh, did those lamps move? And it's like, oh, don't be ridiculous. And then they walk out again. And then they start singing their song again. And then the next thing you hear is just Fred and Michaela screaming because they've come back in. And then the lamps make some bad choices.
The jig is up! Get him!
What? What are you guys doing?
It's too late!
They've seen our magical powers! If word of this were to get out, we talking lamps would be hunted like dogs!
We won't tell anyone, we swear! Sorry, old man, we can't take that chance! Open wide!
No.
This is crazy!
This is what's happening, Sharon! And you can either get in line or get out!
I haven't listened to this, but I did text Rob Klein, who co-wrote it with Sandberg, like just 20 minutes ago. I said, let me know as quick as you can. Don't rewatch it. Share your memories about lamps. Also, he wrote, apologies, it's long. I had a lot to get off my chest. It's almost 5 minutes.
Okay, lamps. I appreciate, Seth, this chance to tell me and Andy's side of the story. The first thing I remember, my favorite thing about lamps, which I have not rewatched, is I think it's one of the first sketches Andy and I wrote together. And I remember being really fun. It was like my second season. The one thing I remember for sure about the writing process is we wrote the title. I think Andy wrote the title, and we wrote the first page of it before we had any idea that the lamps were going to sing. So at a certain point, Andy as a lamp just started singing, and we were having a blast. Little did we know that the sense of fun was going to soon be replaced by one of the darkest weeks of my professional life. Wednesday morning, they put out the rundown of sketches that are going to get read. People see that one is called Lamps, they're already pissed off. Was that, if we had called it Lamp Store, I think they would have been like, that's normal. We called it Lamps. It's a sketch about talking lamps. There's some unease. Was the title chosen to provoke that response? I would say 100% yes. It was a really hot table in my recollection. Like, you could have picked a whole second show out of the good sketches. So, Lamps did okay at the table. And then it got picked. And that's when I feel like there was more of a sense of playful mockery maybe before that. And, oh, you guys are silly. And then a lot of people had just seen their sketches kill at the table and then not get picked, but Lamps got picked. And so people are angry. There's a growing anger. And soon I find out no one is angrier about the sketch Lamps than Lorne Michaels, who I thought picked it. So I'm not sure what happened, but
wow.
I came in the next day on Thursday for rewrites. And I remember Shoemaker was telling someone like, yeah, Lorne can't tell about this one thing in your sketch. And they're like, oh, does he just not want to do this sketch? And Shoemaker's like, no, the sketch he hates is Lamps. And he looked at me and he's like, yeah, Lorne hates Lamps. He doesn't think it makes sense. He doesn't understand why the lamps are singing. And I would say we absolutely had no response to that. There was no, if you're looking for an explanation, we simply didn't have it. We never did. Then it blocked, right, Thursday or Friday. And that was when it started to feel like, okay, not only is there for some reason a target on our backs because of Lamps, it now began to feel like I was being set up to be fired as people came into the control room while it's blocking and are like, so you're okay with the way that looks? And you think this is acceptable, what's happening here? I remember at one point, Steve Higgins, who was always extremely generous and helpful, he came into the control room while the sketch was blocking. And instead of suggesting something, he just said, this is kind of a mess, right? And then he just got the hell out of there, out of the blast zone. Lorne also came to the control room while it was blocking, which was very rare.
Never happened.
And he just said to me, why does the first song have the same melody as Food, Glorious Food from Oliver? And I think I impressed him with my response. I said, I don't know. And he left. And that was my first time I talked to him, probably at least another year until I would talk to him again based on my performance there. The last thing I remember about it blocking is the lamp costumes weighed approximately 800 pounds and were unbelievably hot and suffocating. So I'm watching on the monitor. I already know I'm on thin ice with Lorne. I'm watching on the monitor as Kristen Wiig, who is a pro of pros and an absolute trooper always. I just see the life draining from her face as she's being forced to wear an 800-pound costume. We shouldn't have blocked it with the costumes, but we did so that we would get the shots right.
Life is draining from Kristen eyes. She's at some point people run in to be like, get it off her. So anyway, I see this message is already way too long. I'll chop it there. But we got to Saturday. It was fine. I think the expectations had been lowered so much that Lauren was like, oh, okay, whatever, run it. And then to this day, that's Lamps. One will never live down.
Wow, that was all worth it.
That was a really good voice note. Smooth voice on Rob Klein. And by the way, one of the many great ways Rob is a collaborator is Rob Klein always has that very even keel to himself. Because, obviously that's as bad as it's ever gone for him, and he seemed pretty calm about it.
Yeah, no, there were certain people that just wore stress well at the show. I felt like John Solomon always had a pretty unstressy vibe.
I want to make a prediction for the next episode, which is Andy's position will be Lamps is better than we all say it was. I think Andy has real Lamps trauma because people made fun of it for a long time afterwards.
I also want to hear about what got cut for it. Like if there was a hot show and there was a lot of shit that got passed over for something, like you do feel a tremendous amount of guilt.
Yeah.
For just getting dumped on the rest of the week.
I mean, good stuff got cut for Lamps. And Lamps played high. It's very funny, too, because the amount that Lauren is somehow gets to act like he has no hand in the show.
Yeah, he does. He does do that.
It's like that, give me back my show.
So many things were cut after dress.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Way more than a normal show. It must have been a very long show. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things cut after dress, and then the 2 you already mentioned after air. So that's 8 things. That's way more. That's it. That's a whole other show.
So it's so crazy. Lauren cut 8 things just so Lamps, the sketch he hated,
could play after update. But isn't that, did he actually hate it? I thought Klein was just making up a fun story.
No, I remember there being a lot to Lamps. And I'm looking forward to getting Andy on the show to talk about Lamps, and we'll talk about other stuff as well. This was a delight. Thank you to Amy. Thank you to Fred. Thank you to Rob Klein.
What's the next one?
We're going to talk about Neil Patrick Harris next and maybe roll it into...
and Lamps.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Lamps as well.
I can't wait to see Andy's reaction to him not being on the pod.
Yeah.
Do you want to give him a code word?
Oh, yeah. What's a good one for him?
It should just be periwinkle again. It's really...
No, let's do what was the one you had that you was close, Jorn?
Pettifor.
Pettifor.
It's Pettifor. Yeah.
Good luck remembering that next time, Jorn.
And now let's close it, as I promised, with the Bronx Beat take on sweetbreads.
All right. Love you, buds.
Love you guys.
Love you, bud.
You know what else is gross? You know what else is gross? Sweetbreads.
Sweetbreads? Disgusting.
Disgusting.
You think you're eating a cake? You think you're getting a cake? You lose. It's pancreas.